Hello, Stephen White, Steve Arts 89. I finally watched BLACKkKLANSMAN. I meant to see it in the cinema. I really wanted to see it. I thought it looked great. Um, and I just couldn't get there. And I usually only see the really big cinematic Hollywood special effects sort of films. I usually don't see comedies or dramas in the cinema because it's a lot of effort and money. And usually I'm just going to buy them on Blu-ray anyway or DVD anyway. So, yep. But I finally saw it and it was great. Let's just be clear, it's a great film. It is great. It's funny at times. It's disturbing at times. It's profound. I feel like I know a lot about Black history and what happened in America, but there's so much that you don't know, and even just how things are presented is very effective. And the ending, I fortunately I had a little bit of warning about the ending. But it's you can't be prepared for that. So that was disturbing and made me cry. Even though I knew what the ending of the film was. Um, but the thing that pisses me off, and it does not detract from how great the film is itself, but I hate marketing that misleads film audiences. I've seen it a bunch of times where a serious film is shown as a comedy or a romantic comedy to get people in, or something is they just this film. It was sold for me on the premise that a black guy had infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan. That they were so stupid they were fooled by this black man who managed to get in under the hood or however he did it, and expose them for something they were doing. And that was the premise. That's what I kept seeing in interviews. This is a true story. This is amazing. This black guy actually infiltrated the KKK. They're so stupid. Basically, that's the film I thought I was going to see. At no point in this film does the black character, the main character, the detective, go undercover in the Ku Klux Klan. He makes a few phone calls and pretends to be the same person that they have sent in, who's a white guy, obviously. And I couldn't get past the premise. I thought, how are they going to do this? How did this guy get into the Klan and be black? What? How did he did? I could not work out how they did, and that was what interested me. Like, I have to see how he did this. This is amazing. How could a black guy do this? Well, he didn't. He started the investigation. He fooled them into thinking he was a white man, and then they sent someone in, and he was doing both. He was doing the calls while the other guy was actually in there in person, and he was involved, and he did get into but basically being himself. I don't want to give away too much of the film, but I was really disappointed by that because I wanted to see how he did that, and I thought it would be more comedic. I thought it would be more, "This is how stupid these guys are. We fooled them," and it wasn't. It was more serious, and it was great. And there was, I don't know what preview I saw or what interviews I saw, but I was totally misled. But so I wish I'd seen that film. I want that film, but this film was brilliant and great as well, and it's just mind-boggling when you spend some time, not literally, but like audience-wise, with people like this, these racist people. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't know there were actually white people stupid enough to believe that black people were animals and less than human and less intelligent. And they had actual racist scientists back in the day telling people these were facts and scientifically proven that they were apes or something. I really didn't believe people was that stupid and that racist. But this really fucking happened. People actually, I never really understood where the hate came and where the racism came from, and part of it is through stupidity, um, and actually believing that black people are not humans and they're animals, and that somehow by putting them on our level and letting them vote and go to school, that it's the same as having monkeys. And like, people, I couldn't believe people actually think that or thought that. And because I was exposed to some racism when I grew up. I grew up in a very small town. It was all white people. I didn't see a black person. God, I don't think I saw a black person until I moved to the city for university. I lived in a very small town. We had seemed to have one Asian family who ran the Chinese restaurant, one Italian family that ran the pizza parlor, and pretty much everyone else was white. I remember one Indian guy who, when I was a little kid, I think I thought he was Kamal, because I didn't know anything, that I met. He worked with my dad, and that's about it. Pretty much everyone was white. After I left, something happened, and suddenly there were. Each time I went back, I noticed there was more and more diverse people in the community, and it was great. But when I was growing up there, it was white. It was white Australia, and I didn't even know white Australia was a myth that was created by politics. And my parents kind of were raised in that, and they kind of believed that on some level, and thought that that was our history, and really didn't understand. Although I think my mum did have an idea that Australia really was made from immigrants, by immigrants, and at some point they decided they weren't good enough and got rid of them and tried to act like we were always white and tried to make the country white, and it failed. So we've got our own racial issues, but it's nothing like. I shouldn't say that. The Aboriginal people would not appreciate that. We didn't have. We didn't bring people here. Yeah, we didn't do what the American people did. We came here and did our own. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that. We've got our own issues, but they're slightly different. So seeing the specifics of the American racial issues, I've seen a lot of movies on race and the racism of the 60s and the 70s and that. But I think the infiltration nature of the story, you spend a lot of time seeing, and Spike Lee does a good job of showing these people, because on one disturbing level you see them as humans and you get that they are stupid and afraid and they're buying into this fear and hate, and you see this fear and hate and how stupid it is, and you kind of understand it on some level, which is good in a way, but it makes them less evil and villainy, but you still sort of see that. And then at the end, when you get that example of how this is continuing, and how Trump has just reignited these people who were starting to think they might have been dinosaurs, but now they're starting to feel like, yeah, Jurassic Park, let's go. Let's just... It's very disturbing. But yeah, I was totally pissed when he didn't go undercover at all. I thought at some point he would have to take the place of the white guy and like put on a robe or something and wear some gloves or something, so they literally didn't know it was him. I thought at some point that would happen, even if it was just one instance. But it doesn't happen ever. So I want people to know, if you see this film, that if you're seeing it because you want to see some sort of shenanigans like that, not going to happen. But the film itself is great. It is amazing. And I don't have much else to say, because I watched it last night on DVD, and I was doing some reviews for a Spider-Man and Annabelle and stuff, and then I thought, oh, just wait, BLACKkKLANSMAN, you just watched it. There's no reason why you can't put a video up. I mean, no one watches your shit anyway, and you like talking about it, just do a video. So I'm doing a video. But I wish I had seen it in the cinema. But I think the ending might be a bit too much on the big screen. But if you haven't seen it, see it. It's great. I'm glad Spike got some awards. I can't remember what he got. He directed. I hope he directed. God, I'm forgetting what he did. I know he wrote. Did he write and direct? Fuck. I need to do better notes. But either way, he got some recognition, which he hasn't for a while. He's been around for 20, 30 years making films, and he's only just starting to get a bit of recognition, like from the establishment. And that's probably one of the best things about this film, the fact that it has gotten the attention it deserved. A lot of his other films are very, very much just not straight to video, but they didn't get the sort of mainstream attention this got. So I'm glad this is good. But yeah, watch it, but don't be fooled into thinking it's going to be some sort of light sort of comedy about a black guy tricking a bunch of stupid white guys or something. I don't know how. I knew big parts of the film would be serious, but I thought that was an element of it, and that was sort of what some people were selling it on. I guess they'd never seen the film. Some people do reviews about seeing films, and they get an idea, and they go with it, and they actually know what the hell they're talking about. So you got to be careful who you listen to. But I'm glad I saw it. It was great. Watch it, and feel free to tell me what you think. Thanks. Bye.